How's it going, everybody? We're back at you with our latest sales update here. These are the items that have sold in our eBay store over the last 24 hours. And you can see that we have 3 items sold, which is very, very exciting. 3 clothing items sold. Well, actually 4 total sales, but 3 clothing items sold, which is about 1% of our inventory, which is what we would love to do each and every day. All right, here's a quick breakdown of the clothing items we sold. This is a Johnston & Murphy Performance Polo. We sold this for $15. We bought that for $2, so that's really, even though it's a small sale, it's still a good profit on that. And it actually went to a repeat buyer, someone who had purchased from us previously. They came and bought something again. You can see it's still dark colors and patterns, you know, the type of thing that still work even in the fall or winter time, even in areas where people are still wearing polos. All right, then we sold this Gitman Brothers vintage. This is a flannel plaid. And we had this listed for $88, and that was kind of based on the high-end comps. And then someone's made us an offer for $40, and we countered at $65, and they countered at $50, and we took it because at this point, this is a shirt that I'm probably in like $7 or something like that. So to turn 7 into 50, we're more than happy to get that sold. We make a good profit on that. They get a good deal, and everybody is happy. So when you have nice big profit margins, you can work on that. Then the last thing we sold was this vintage, and this is Gander Mountain. You can see the logo there. Vintage Gander Mountain. This is also a flannel plaid. This was, I believe, a wool blend as well. And this one we just listed last week or in the last couple of days. I don't even know, but like it took less than a week to sell. And I think we took an offer for this one at 30. We had it listed at 33, so quick sale on that. And then we did sell a lot of a couple of baseball cards, Dale and Lyle here. So what am I doing in light of all of these changes with eBay's promoted ad listings? Well, a lot of these eBay YouTubers are out there causing panic and saying, oh my goodness, it's the end of the world. And it's not. I'm just going to tell you, it's not the end of the world. It's the way the world is moving. But if you didn't know this was coming and you're like shocked about this, then you're just not paying attention to the way the world is working in these areas. It is a pay to play system. You've got to pay. You know, it takes money to make money, right? All those little things, it's pay to play. And so what I am doing as some of these YouTubers, now I think some of them are causing false panic, and I don't think they're really going to do anything different, but others of them probably are backing off on how much they're promoting. I am stepping into the void, and I am actually upping my promoted listings. I am upping the amount. I've always promoted everything at a small amount, but I've moved up, and I've started to see a sales spike because of it. Now, will this be permanent or temporary? I don't know. It kind of depends on how everybody reacts. But whenever everybody in the market is going one way, that is the exact perfect time to pivot. And so I've learned this through a lot of hard lessons over the years. So everyone's panicking. That's when it's time for me to step in. And so I've increased my ad rates on my newest, freshest items from 2% all the way up to 7%. Okay, so all the way up to 7, actually 7.1 is the number I use, but 7%. And then as the items age over the first couple of days, I slowly decrease all the way down to the 2.1% after a couple of weeks. Now, why do I decrease the ad rate the longer the item's been sitting? Well, it maybe sounds counterintuitive, but think about it. It really makes sense. Early on, when I first listed, I have lots and lots of profit margin, right? I'm buying things that I'm highly confident. I'm listing near the top of the market, good quality photos, good quality listings, doing all of that. But as time goes by, my profit margin shrinks because I lower my prices. Plus, you know, just kind of the idea of just the longer it sits, the more it's taking up your money and everything. But I do lower my prices every couple of weeks. And so as the prices get lower, the item itself becomes a better deal, so I don't need to advertise it quite as much. And so this is the adjustment that I'm making, is just slowly, I move the promoted listing percentage down as I move the price down. But then it doesn't really matter where it sells along that scale. So whether it sells, you know, at a 7% ad rate in the first week or at 7% off or 10% off after 3 weeks, I basically make the same amount. And I think people are really panicking over stuff that doesn't really matter. The other area that I'm stepping into is the pay-per-click model. This is the model that I think eBay wants us to go to. And I think that there's always a benefit to being an early adapter. And so I'm being very picky. I'm running a really small campaign, $5 a day, on the pay-per-click model, but I have seen really good results so far on it. Now, no direct sales attributed, but this $50 shirt sale was part of the pay-per-click campaign, and it sold within 24 hours of running that campaign. So whether it's directly attributed, because again, if they make an offer, then it doesn't count as being part of the sale. But again, I spent probably about 40 cents of promotion on this. So it actually turns out to be cheaper on the pay-per-click model if it sells quickly than it is on the percentage-based model. And so, but I'm just handpicking in-season quality items or items that I think would be really like desirable right around Christmas at this point in time to get those and jump to this top of the search. And we're going to just see how this works. I'm running a 2-week trial on this, and my ad spend is like $4 to $5 a day is what I'm allowing eBay to ad spend and promo. But again, within 24 hours, one of my items of $50 plus sold. I am happy with that. So when everybody's panicking, it's sometimes your opportunity to look and maybe make money in a way where everybody else is fleeing. So that's what we're doing. We're stepping into the void that some of these sellers are leaving behind, and our sales are jumping because of it. So it is pay per play on eBay. It's just the way it's going to be. And I think unless you have top quality items that sell themselves, but you know, if you're in crowded marketplaces like men's clothing is super crowded, or sports cars or different things, you're going to definitely want to look at maybe figuring out if you can get a little bit of an advantage that way. Let me know down in the comments below if you are advertising on eBay or not.